Burgundy Ballers, welcome back to an absolutely just mind-boggling episode of the Ballin and Burgundy podcast. Yeah, I got
Yeah,
myself, I got Chris, I got Andrew, and we got another West Coast operative just for the night. We got Andrew's good friend Owen right down there on the bottom of your screen. Owen, what's going on, fella?
bro, happy to be here.
Bro, for those who don't know, the thumbnail will say it all. What we're about to get into will say it all. But Sam Howell, QB14, what Andrew's jersey is wearing, has been sent to Owen's Seattle Seahawks. And we'll get into all the trade acquisitions and all the big rumors and all the just the mind-boggling status of this trade here in a second. But I need y'all to do two things. Like and subscribe here on the channel. Head over to Instagram, YouTube, or Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Go follow us all over there. Any breaking news will be put on Twitter and on Instagram. Just straight up. Once it happens, it's out there. And then hit that notification bell to let you know every time that we upload here at BIB. But let's get into it. About 4:20 Eastern Standard Time, I get a Bleacher Report notification saying, Sam Howell has been traded to the Seattle Seahawks. I say, call myself. All right. Why was he traded? And what was he traded for? Well, Sam Howell was traded to the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks received Sam Howell, round 4, pick 102, and round 6, 179, and we received the Seattle Seahawks round 3, pick 78, and their 5th round pick 152. So we use Sam Howell to trade up in both rounds, essentially, and Owen's Seattle Seahawks get themselves a QB of the future without costing them an arm or a leg, really. Oh, and I'm going to start with you. What was your thoughts going in, just seeing that notification bell and being like, what the fuck?
No, it was great. It's definitely a good notification to have. I think Sam's going to be good for us. He gets that opportunity to show what he's worth. I think he's just scratched the surface with the Commanders,
Mm-hmm.
and he's great for a Seahawk now. Good to have options for sure.
For sure. I mean, he goes to a great team. I don't think we can disagree. Seattle is a great team. They got weapons for the future. You got DK Metcalf, JSN, Kenneth Walker. You've got Noah Fant. You've got Tyler Lockett. You've
Yeah.
got Zach Charbonnet. Your defense has always been outstanding the past few years since the Legion of Boom, who we got B-Wag, so kind of trade off. And then just new head coach out for you guys. So I think, Gino will be your starter this year, but him sitting another year behind a good veteran, I don't think it's a bad idea. Andrew, our other West Coast operative, what was your thoughts when you saw this notification? You said,
I
okay.
was surprised. I'll put it that way. I know we heard rumors of Sam possibly being traded earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks is not one of the teams that I thought he could go to.
Nope.
I thought they were sticking with Gino. I thought he had a bad year last year. I thought they might draft somebody and, build around whoever they draft. But it turns out they would like somebody like Sam, who still has a lot of potential.
Yep.
Showed a lot of good signs last year. And then week 13, week 14 started to fall off a good bit and started throwing more picks. And we all saw that. But I think they really took note of the positive side of him they saw and understand that he wasn't necessarily the problem on this team. It was the fact that he didn't have an offensive line to protect him and that he didn't have a defense. So
Yeah.
I think Seattle's going to set him up really good. They've got one of the best wide receiver trios in the NFL.
Yep.
They have an okay-ish offensive line. Would you say that, Owen?
Yeah. I think I looked earlier. I think it was ranked like 25th, and your guys was 29th. So slight,
Not great, but
it'd probably make a difference.
yeah.
Yep.
So it's a slight upgrade, which they're probably going to patch this offseason, I'm sure, in the draft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really set up for a comeback here and to show his full range of talents. I feel like I'm in Seattle. If you guys didn't know, I live in the Seattle area. So there's a lot of talk about it at school today, and Seahawks fans are total mix on him. Instagram, at school, in person, everything.
Yep.
Some people love him. Some people are really excited about it. Some people are like, okay, you know what? That's fine. It's like sort of like the Justin Field type trade. There's also, of course, people that are very disappointed. I think probably because they didn't know how bad our offensive line was and how bad the team was overall. But I really think this trade is like a slightly better version of a Justin Fields trade for them.
Yeah.
And I only say that because Justin has had a lot of time to prove himself in the NFL, and he still loses a lot.
Yeah.
Sam's last year was Sam's really first full year.
It was his first year as starter
himself. So he's younger. I'd say he has more potential, and I feel like he could be a really good fit for the Seahawks. I'm going to miss him. We probably shouldn't have got this jersey right before he got traded, but you know what? We're gonna root him on for the 12s.
I mean, fair enough. Chris, what was your thoughts with the East Coast boy with me?
It crushed my spirit. It was like when Solo Sikoa came up last year and spiked Cody Rhodes. Then Roman hits him with the spear.
At WrestleMania.
Match is over.
More WWE.
It crushed my spirit. Because literally, I had hope for this guy. I had hope that he was going to be our guy. I had hope that we were going to develop him. Even after the signing of Marcus Mariota, I thought we were going to still develop this guy. I thought this guy was going to work in Cliff Kingsbury's system with Terry McLaurin, with Jahan Dotson, Brian Robinson, Zach Ertz. It could have worked out. But they did say they wanted to build their own team. So that being said, they decided to ship him off to Seattle.
Yeah.
But it did work out, though. It worked out because we moved up in rounds 3 and rounds 5. Because, yeah, we don't have a 4th-round pick, but we have 3 third-round picks now. And we have, I believe, another 5th-round pick, like two
5th-round picks.
Yeah. So, like, in a way, it's not necessarily a bad trade. It just all depends on who we draft, where we take them, and what the future is going to look like. But man, it crushed my spirit because, like, I wanted to see that Howell Terry connection. You know, I thought that was going to be the real connection for next year, but look like that ain't happening next season, boys.
Yeah, it ain't happened. Well, there was a video that went out on X, and shout out to our guy Josh Taylor. Shout out to him. He reposted it about what I don't know if it's the Seahawks general manager, if it was the guy who made the trade, but I'll pull it up for you guys, and kind of get your thoughts on what he was gonna say. And
morning, and talking to the Commanders and Adam Peters, our general manager, there was we were sweating that out. There were several teams involved with it, and Sam's a football player. I think that's the best way to describe it. You know, there's guys that play quarterback. When you watch, and then everybody saw him play out here. He had a great day against us this past fall. But yeah, he's a quarterback, but he's really a football player. That's what I love about him. You know, really tough, young. You know, he's 23 years old and has 18 starts. You know, in the league already, and he's the same age as like Daniels from LSU and Rattler and Penix, and he's a year younger than Bo Nix, and so we're just really excited to be able to acquire him, and we know he's a serious dude, and he's into it. He works his tail off. We got great reviews on him, and we loved him coming out of college. So we're happy to get him in the mix, and Gino's the guy, and Sam will be back in a month.
So what are we thinking after seeing that video? I mean, he makes some good points. He likes him out of college. He'll back up Gino for a year. Played well, 18 starts. He's younger than some of the guys in the draft. I'll go with Owen. First of all, was that your GM who the video was that about?
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. I like his words for sure. I like that he's getting a new atmosphere. Like we said before, he's surrounded by some great players like Lockett and of course Gino. Wish I could say Wagner too, but he's gone now.
He's still
so all those guys have experience. I think it's good that he's around those players. I think, like we also said before, I think that his slightly improved O-line is going to help. The amount of yards that he threw last year with such a crappy O-line, no offense, is just really impressive. I mean, 3,900 yards, that's crazy. And I just think him backing up Gino, I like the sound of it. It's better than Locke. I can't wait to see what he does. I'm excited.
I think it's interesting how John Schneider established very clearly he's going to be the backup. Gino's starting for this next year. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like after this next year. If Sam Howell's going to be the guy taking over for Gino once he's done, because he's old. Gino's sort of falling apart a little. Owen, how would you feel about that? Like on a scale of 1 to 10, would you like Sam to take over? Or would you rather keep him at backup and like draft somebody or sign someone?
It depends. I think it's sort of a wait and see situation.
Agreed.
It's hard to picture him as the franchise QB just as soon as this started. I haven't seen much. Yeah, I mean, he's so young. He's got a lot of upside. It's definitely nice having him as a backup for sure, though, because Gino's had some injury issues over the past couple of years. He's had some bad games. He's also had some pretty good games, though. But it's nice that we have that option of Sam Howell on the bench, and we can just put him in whenever we feel like it. That's a lot better than the Gino and Locke situation. So
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I think it's just gonna be interesting because like we've all agreed to. I think Seattle is a great organization, regardless of Pete Carroll not running the ball in Super Bowl against Patriots. But I don't want to keep bringing that up. I don't want to beat a dead horse as it's already been. I'm sure you're like, don't do this to me. But I think literally outside of that, I think you guys have had a spectacular organization. Pete Carroll is one of the best of all. In that conversation of one of the best coaches of all time, and now you guys have a new step forward going into this new year with new head coach, new OC. Still a great team overall. Like we were talking about earlier, you still got Smoot, you still got Reek, you still got who's Boye Mafe out there. You still got Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas, and I think you guys draft Jackson Powers Johnson at 20 overall, the center from Oregon. I think you do because you solidified that your three biggest spots, your two tackles and your center. But that's just me because I love me some JPJ out of the Ducks. And then you got, like I said, great. I mean, you got, Jake Bobo, you got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, JSN, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, Noah Fant, and I'm sure you draft another tight end just to have that backup.
Definitely.
As long as y'all don't kill him back there, like the way we let him be killed, I think he can very well be the future of y'all's franchise.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to at least wrap up the Seahawks portion. Owen, thank you for coming on, spending time with us, giving some thoughts from a Seahawks point of view. And I hope your Seahawks do well. Not as great as us, but at least just take care of him at least.
We're all Seahawks.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here. As long as you take care of Wagner. He's old, still good.
He is old, but he's worth it.
Yeah.
He is old. Owen, again, thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Thanks. This was great.
Man, thank you.
Thanks.
Have a good one.
You too.
All righty. Again, shout out to Owen for coming on. Andrew, thanks for setting that up. But let's get into why this trade means so much, and then we'll make this short and sweet with these free agency videos. We 100% go quarterback number 2 overall. We've already known this going into the draft, I think, especially after week 15. I think we kind of knew. But question is, do we stay at 2 and take a Jaden Daniels or a Drake May or pull a swerve and take a JJ McCarthy? Or do we trade up for Caleb Williams, number 1 overall, since Justin Fields is yet to be traded, but we're only 5 days into free agency. You don't know what he's going to do. We got a 3rd and a 5th for Sam Howell. You would have thought Justin Fields was God, but no, he's not. But Chris, I'm gonna start with you because we left you hanging for a minute. What do you think we do in the draft? Do we trade up? Do we stick at 2? And if we stick at 2, who we taking?
I'm sticking at 2. Personally, don't get me wrong. I like Caleb Williams as a player. Not personally. That's sort of the reason I'm sitting at 2. But man, let's be real. If we trade up to number 1, we're gonna have to give up a buttload.
Yeah.
A buttload to probably get Caleb Williams. Yes, Caleb Williams is from the DMV, but man, if you saw some of the reports when he was at the combine, he wasn't even doing the combine, and yet he literally reminded me of like Baker Mayfield a little bit, being so cocky and everything like that. Like, yeah, you already know I'm getting taken number 1 overall, you know, and like any team I get drafted to, you know, I want a little bit of ownership of that team too. And it's just like, bro, you was putting yourself at a high level. You need to chill it and bring it back down, you know, bring it back down to planet Earth, you know, like honestly, and I'm not gonna say he's gonna be a bust already, but man, talking like that is a good way to, you know, set up failure for yourself in the NFL. So if anything, I think we take Jaden Daniels at 2. We run the pistol. Hell, we just signed Marcus Mariota. So doesn't that kind of hint at we get Jaden Daniels and run the pistol a little bit? I mean,
yeah. I mean, to be fair, Drake May and Jaden Daniels didn't do much of the combine either, and no quarterback really did much of the combine. So we can't say, oh, well, they did it. I think Sam Hartman was the only one to do really anything in that combine.
Yeah.
But so you'll stick at 2 and take the LSU Heisman, the Heisman Trophy winner from this past season. Andrew, what are you thinking?
Well, there's what I want to do, and there's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to stay at 2. I think it's going to be either Drake May or Jaden Daniels. Probably Drake May, but could go either way. But with this newly acquired draft capital, and just to clarify for the viewers, we're not getting a 3rd and a 5th. We're moving up from our 4th and 6th to a 3rd.
Basically,
which is still better draft capital for trading up.
It's literally Sam Howell and then a pick swap.
Correct. I feel like there's absolutely character concerns for Caleb Williams, and I'm not going to deny that. But the numbers speak for themselves, in my opinion. His stats, his abilities, I feel like that sort of outweighs his character problems. And he could absolutely be the solution that this team needs, even if we have to give up a lot of picks for it, which we will. I'm not saying we won't. But I feel like if we can get Caleb Williams and then solidify our secondary and then grabs like 2 tackles, perfect draft in my opinion. Perfect. Fair
enough. I do think we stick at 2, although I think it's a possibility we could move 36, 40, and a second next year to go to 1. So it's our first this year and then 3 seconds. It's a lot, but we knew it's going to be a lot going into this, right?
We do.
But I think if we stick at 2, I think because of size and ability, although Drake May still can run the ball with the best of them, can throw with the best of them, I think we go Jaden. I think he doesn't have the arm talent the way Drake does, but I think because of his mobility, who the backup quarterback is, and who our coaching staff is, I think he'll work a little bit better than Drake May. Not to say Drake May couldn't do it. I'm not trying to say that at all. But I think Jaden just has an athletic ability to weave around defenders a little bit better. Will he take some hits? Absolutely. But you bring him in, like Andrew said, you draft a tackle at 36, maybe you draft a tackle at 67, get you a corner at 40, get you maybe a wide receiver at 78. Who knows, right? But I think because of this trade, because of Sam Howell leaving, it just solidified things saying, hey, it's all or nothing here at number 2 overall for a quarterback. Who's it going to be? We won't know until draft night. But it's going to be interesting. Good.
I still feel like there's a possibility Drake May and Jaden Daniels, a decent possibility that they'll both be busts. I'm not saying there's not a possibility that Caleb is a bust, because there is.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely smaller than Drake and Jaden. And Caleb also has a much higher ceiling.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody is on that. Jaden also has a pretty high ceiling. Drake as well. But, I mean, I feel like they're just a bigger risk.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing how much we need a quarterback right now,
Yep.
I don't like taking a risk at quarterback.
Right.
I'm
No,
calling it
yeah.
right now. Calling it. The first, let's say the first 2 picks, right, are both quarterbacks, right?
Which they will be.
And Jaden Daniels, right?
Okay.
I'm calling it right now. The NFL is going to put that on a primetime slot. You watch.
Yeah.
You want to know how? Because we've seen this before. We've seen it before. And guess who has the first 2 picks? Chicago and Washington.
Washington.
Yay, another primetime game.
Mhm. Yeah.
Bro, I'm literally saying if that's the schedule release after the draft, hey, you heard it from me first, okay?
Yeah, that's fair.
We're clipping this.
We're clipping it. We're posting it. We'll post it later. If we see the schedule release, Chris called it. I don't think we need any primetime games, but I'm sure we will get one, whether it's Thursday, Sunday, or Monday, or even for whatever reason, if it happens on a Tuesday or Wednesday, like during COVID, it could happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, this trade was like none of us saw that. Like we saw the trade coming, but we thought it was gonna be Las Vegas, New England, maybe the Jets, maybe the Rams because Matt Stafford's getting old. But never the Seahawks. I think they would have gotten a Joe Milton, maybe a Jordan Travis, maybe a Sam Hartman, a Drew Leary, guys like that. Never Sam.
Yep.
But you trade up 21 spots from the 4th to the 3rd, and you trade up 24 or 25 spots from the 6th to the 5th. So you've helped yourself tremendously. And I loved Owen's input. So shout out to Owen for coming on and seeing this and watching this, and I hope you share with your friends, share a friend, share a friend. That's gonna wrap things up, guys. I'm trying to keep these episodes shorter during free agency because boy howdy, can I never keep these updated. The moment these episodes are released, 7 minutes later, signing. Like we signed Anthony Pittman today, or a new linebacker. Hey, we'll take it. The only other news I can think of, and thank you, Andrew, for reminding me, is, 2 things. Kendall Fuller is now a Miami Dolphin. 2 years, $16.3 million. It's a good deal. And Curtis Samuel to the Buffalo Bills, like 3 years, $30 million.
That establishes our needs for this next draft.
Yep.
More. We're going to need another receiver,
Yep.
preferably rounds 4 and higher.
Yep.
And then we're really going to need cornerback and safety.
Corner, safety, tackle.
Of course, tackle. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
My top 3, if we're going a later round wide receiver, Luke McCaffrey at 6'2", Joshua Cephas out of UTSA at 6'3", and Johnny Wilson out of FSU 6'7". Those are my top 3.
Yep.
Do I think any of those will happen? Could be. I see the first 2 happening before I see Wilson go. Because I think someone like, I don't know, the Cowboys grab him or something. Like something weird. But I mean, so we lose 2 more pieces. Cameron Cole is still yet to be re-signed. We brought back F.A. Obata, thankfully. And just more help on that edge rush. And he wanted to be here, so we'll take it. That's going to wrap things up. Again, once again, I'll say it again. Shout out to Owen for coming on for a little bit, speaking with us. Andrew for setting that up. But Sam Howell is no longer a Commander. He will take the cross-country flight over to the Northeast or the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, out to Seattle, become a Seahawk. Curtis Samuel is now a Buffalo Bill, so he can go play in the snow. Kendall Fuller is a Miami Dolphin. He can go play in the Sunshine State. And we move up in the draft. We'll take it at this rate. Anything else you want to add?
I'm good.
Hey,
I'm good.
Free agent. We're what, Dave? By the time this comes out, it'll be about day 5 of free agency. We've signed 13 guys with only spending a little bit of money.
Let Adam Peters cook.
Let our GM cook, guys. We now have 6 picks inside the top 100, 5 within the top 80, so we have nothing but ammunition for whatever we want to do. But I know what y'all, our viewers, should do out there. Like and subscribe here on the channel, here on the video. Head over to Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Go follow us up there. Links will be down in the description. And hit the notification bell to know every time that we upload here at BIB. Shout out to our sponsors, Rio, Corey, Tony, and Washington DF for supporting us since day one. Let's go into free agency. Let's keep going in free agency, see what we can do. Let's head into the draft. We got a bunch of content coming out during that time. Let's just have some fun. Let's rebuild the team correctly. Let's believe in Adam Peters. Let's believe in AP, not Adrian Peterson, but Adam Peters. Hail to those Commanders. And don't forget to stay balling. We'll see y'all out there.